Hi everyone. My name is Jerry Wise, and I've spent the last 45 years of my professional life helping folks get their narcissistic families and dysfunctional families out of them. And I want to share today about narcissistic parents, questions they simply can't answer. And I think these are important for you. And if you have a narcissistic parent, it might guide you in helping you about these particular questions. At the end, I'll share some self-differentiation tips and explain them more fully. First of all, again, these are some questions that I think would be difficult for a narcissistic parent to answer. Can you acknowledge, Mom, that you might be wrong? Can you acknowledge, Dad, that you might be wrong? You probably will not get a positive answer out of that. And you're probably wasting your time asking that question. Narcissists are not wrong. They're never wrong. So if you're trying to get them to be something they're not, when we ask that question, we're trying to make a frog into a cow. It's not going to work. And, what can you acknowledge? You might be wrong. And again, that's just not going to go well. Number two, why can't you ever apologize? Well, for most narcissists, they have nothing to apologize for. They don't ever do anything wrong. So why should I apologize? Or if I did something that was hurtful or wrong, it was only because you made me. So again, I don't have to apologize for something you made me do. So why can't you ever apologize? Number three, how do you think your behavior affects others? How do you think your behavior affects me? Not a good question for a narcissist, because that would require empathy. That would require insight. That would require the things that a narcissist doesn't bother with, nor many have the gene to be able to do it. And so, how do you think your behavior affected me back then when that happened? They just aren't going to go there with you, because that's not something they can easily do. Number four, how do you feel about your own behavior, Mom? I know I told you how I felt about my behavior and I apologized. How do you feel about your behavior? That question is not going to go over very well, because they did what they thought they should do according to what you made them do. And so they're not going to be able to reflect on their own behavior, take their own accountability for their choices and actions. Number five, what would you do differently if you were to go back in time when I was a kid? Would you do something different, Dad? They're not going to have a reflection on what they would do differently. They're going to give you reasons and excuses why they did what they did. And that's all that matters. Not that they could have made other choices or should have made other choices, but it's difficult for them to go back in time and reassess what went on and take ownership. That's just way beyond their pay grade to be able to do that. Number six, what about your true feelings about our relationship? And what are your true feelings about our relationship, sis? Say a sister is a narcissist or what. You're talking about true feelings. Do narcissists have true feelings? I think narcissists tend to have what I consider systems feelings. In other words, they have created this Wi-Fi of a super self and that everybody's connected to, and they just operate within it. And that's different than having their own real or true feelings. And so asking about that, again, we're trying to pursue them again. Can't you just take responsibility for how you affect me? Or can't you share with me how you really feel? And probably it's not going to go well or be answered very clearly. Number seven, why do you always need to be right? Because they always need to be right. And if you're asking them why, then again, we're probably pursuing them to try to change them and not accepting the fact that they will always need to feel that they were right. They'll gaslight, they'll lie, they'll distort, they'll smear campaign so that they are always looked at in the most favorable light and be the right one. Number 8, why do you feel the need to belittle others all the time? Because they have a need to belittle others all the time so that they are on top and everyone else is below. And that's the nature of a narcissistic framework and paradigm. The narcissist has an inability to admit fault. They have a lack of empathy. They need to control and to feel superior. And it makes it difficult to ask them these types of questions. They do not do well with those questions. So what are some self-differentiation tips I could offer you in being your own true self with a narcissistic parent? Well, first of all, I might share, don't ever ask your narcissistic parent any of these questions, because these why questions are ineffective with narcissistic parents because they don't possess that self-reflection that you're looking for. They don't possess that. And so there's no sense asking why questions, or could you look deeper? What are your real feelings? Or what? Again, we're trying to normalize them because that's what normal people would do in a relationship or feel or think. That's not, we have an abnormal relationship here with an abnormal disorder. Secondly, in terms of confronting them, and some of these questions are kind of confronting questions, I've always had the rule, the best time to confront is when I don't need to. Then I can be more focused, more calm, and more myself in confronting. Because if I need to confront, then I'm often pursuing them. And when you're pursuing someone who's not well, the confrontation is not going to go well. You need to be not pursuing them to confront someone in a mature, healthy way. And the first question is, often many of these questions were pursuit or I need to change them questions, or I need to confront them about their behavior, how they affect me. But we come with the need to change them or call them to some accountability. Give that up. You will find more peace, serenity, and tranquility if you do that. Thirdly, switch from other focused questions to self-focused questions. The questions that I just raised for you and posed for you were more other-focused questions. It was focused on them. Make the locus of control, make the focus of the question for yourself. For example, well, why does it upset me when my narcissistic parent can't acknowledge they are wrong? Why does that upset me? I know they're a narcissist, but I keep getting upset about it. Why do I keep getting upset about that? That's a self-focused question. Second, another why question that's self-focused. Why do I keep trying to get my parent to see something? And I put those in quotes, to see something, or see something about themselves, or see something about our relationship. Why do I keep trying to do that? That's a self-focused question and a much better question to ask. And let's talk about apology. If I don't ever get an apology from my narcissistic parent, why would that have to matter to me? Apologies are nice. I'm for making apologies. I think they should apologize, whatever, but they probably won't. And that, why is that apology so needed? Why does it have to matter to you so much? That's a self-focused question. If you want to learn more tips and more things you can do, join the Road to Self program listed below. And I hope that you'll subscribe, comment, and like this video. Have a great day and be wise.